Hello and welcome to my last program number 5 for CS342. Hopefully I can finish this up strong. My name is Muhammad Omar Qazi. So mine is the freezer sensor idea, and I hope to make easier track when to buy grocery and decide what food to buy and when to buy it. This is the same idea that I gave in the beginning of the semester with just one modification. Instead of a fridge, I'm using a freezer, but or else the concept is mostly the same. So I bought a Raspberry Pi around 40 bucks. I also had to buy a PIR motion sensor and jumper wires. So that was 13 and 7, 20 bucks total. So 60 bucks I spent, plus I had to use the Ethernet cable and SD card at home. Maybe the total with that would come around 70, 75-ish.
So this is the setup of my Raspberry Pi. And as you can see, the sensor turns red when it senses something. Me in this case.
So my main motivation for choosing the Raspberry Pi was because I found a lot of online tutorials. So I thought I would have a lot of support in doing this. And in terms of software, I use Python programming because that seemed to be the most compatible and user-friendly with the Raspberry Pi. Also, it was really easy to learn. And I had to use PuTTY to SSH to my Pi to program it up. So there were a lot of struggles with this. The most important one was buying the Pi. Couldn't figure out what Internet thing to use, but I settled on the Pi. And then getting the accessories, I actually had to run down to Fry's because I didn't have time to order online. I'm glad I got those in though. And getting the appropriate software, downloaded tons of software, but later I realized that Raspberry Pi gives you something called the Raspbian, which I uploaded to an SD card, and then I was able to get all these software pre-downloaded, and then using sudo commands, sudo commands, I was able to get everything using the terminal, which I used the Pi as a server. So I managed to connect to it using PuTTY, and then I did all the stuff on the command line. And this is the Python code that I used for my motion sensor. So pretty much it takes an input, 3 different types of food that you would want to buy as soon as it runs out. So it will then ask you how often. So for example, you enter a food 1. I'll run a demo later on. You enter a food 1 and say every time someone sees the freezer 100 times, go buy it. And you'll get a message that tells you go buy waffles, for example. So if you run my program, typing python motion.py, it'll ask you for a food. I'll enter waffles, and then I'll put in like 1500 times someone visits the freezer, and then pizza, right, every 2500, and then ice cream, and we'll put that in as 7000. And now it's waiting for the motion to be detected. And so fast forwarding a little bit, you should get that kind of output, and hopefully it's more graphical. I'll discuss that with the future project. So for future projects, I would say maybe have this update on a mobile device, make it wireless so you don't need an Ethernet cable, and have a fancy graphical user interface so it's more user friendly and fancier. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my presentation.